Thanks for tuning in to Any Given Sunday. This is the Sunday preview with Jesus. We're going to go real quick, go through all the games, give you the ins, the outs, what scores are. First game we're going to go is the Powers versus the Dream Killers. Powers had a solid 72 points. Stafford, Calvin, Andre, Texans defense combined for 72 points. On the other side, Lewis is hurting right now. Miles Austin giving him the donut, kind of eliminated. A solid game by Wes Welker, giving him 13. It's going to be tough. Can Lewis come back? Lewis knows if he loses this game, he is officially eliminated from the playoffs. So he needs a lot of help. On the other side, the Powers, they're just trying to continue their streak, trying to get that #1 spot. If they win this week, they clinch the #1 seed. Next up is the Elites versus Cashing Out. Cashing Out had a solid 11 points from their homeboy, Mikel LaShore. On the other side, the Dominican Elites had really good games. Great decision to play the New England Patriots defense, who put up 24, and great decision to stick with Stephen Ridley, who put up 19. It's gonna be a tough battle for Cashing Out to try to come back from this. But again, Mikel LaShore at least keeps them in it by putting up that solid 11. Cashing Out knows that they lose, they're out. Dominican Elites know they need to win out, and if they do win out in 2 losses by Rich, who has a very difficult schedule, he's in the driver's seat because of his division record. So Jeff is not giving up by no means. Also, Cashing Out right now does have Percy Harvin in their lineup. He is out for the week, so you got to assume somebody else is going to get put in there. You guys know the rule with that. The rule with that goes is if he doesn't have anybody in by 12:50, the commissioner's office will then put in the worst possible option, who from what I'm hearing, worst possible option at that receiver is probably going to be Kendall Wright, that he's going to plug into that position. Next up, you have Concussed Alex Smith more often versus the Underachievers. Concussed Alex Smith, okay, they had a solid 8 points from their tight end, but on the other side, the Underachievers putting up 24 points by Des Bryant is a monster. Des Bryant and that receiving core for Underachievers just continue to keep him in games. The fact that Pops has no running backs to rely on, it's different running backs every week, running back by committee, I guess you could say, but his receivers are keeping him in it week in and week out. Pops, again, he's in the outside looking in for the playoffs, but he knows he has a very good shot of Rich losing one more game, and Pops can definitely win out. He has the talent as far as receiving and quarterback goes, and tight end out, absolutely. Jimmy Graham, can't forget him. Pops, he doesn't have DeMarco Murray this week. He left 11 points by Felix Jones on the bench, but hey, would he bounce back from that? We'll have to see. Next up, we're going to have, actually in that game more often, they don't have LaShawn McCoy. He is out for this week, so they're going to, try to overcome that. It's going to be tough, but we'll see. Then you got Steve and the Empire. Steve had a solid 23 points from Arian Foster. Arian Foster is just a man right now, keeping them in the game, because on the other side, you had RG3 putting up a solid 36 points, but then the tight end for Rich and the flex position for Rich only combined for a total of 7 points, when if they would have played Pierre Garçon at the flex position, he would have more than doubled that at 15 points. So again, is that mistake going to come back to bite Rich? We'll have to see. And Steve on the other side left 19 points by running back Shane Vereen on the bench, but who would have thought that Shane Vereen was going to put up that? Nobody would have, so you can't really knock him on that. Danny Amendola is doubtful. Ahmad Bradshaw, from what I'm hearing, is going to play this week. Julio Jones is questionable, so there's a couple of things there that these guys have to watch out for as far as putting in their lineups. Lastly, we have the D-Town Tigers against Tomato Biscuit Sweets, whatever that name goes. You guys know how I don't like his names at all. But you got Dennis, who 17 points from Morris, 7 points from Witten, 7 points from his kicker. But the big problem here is he left 35 points on his bench. Tony Romo outscored those 3 players combined, and he's sitting on the bench. Is that going to come back to bite Dennis? I don't know, but it very well may. That hurts. 35 points from a quarterback is huge, and it's sitting on his bench. Andy Dalton has a lot of pressure now to try to match that. On the other side, Shakir's team, he didn't play anybody for Thursdays. He left some good points on the bench. Santana Moss had 10 on the bench. Matt Sharp, 16. Drew Brees, you're not going to play Matt Sharp over Drew Brees ever, so don't worry about that. And then Brandon Pettigrew, 5 points. Again, you can't blame him for that either. So there's really no injuries to worry about on this side. Frank Gore's going to play, Peterson's going to play, Marshawn Lynch is going to play, all these guys are going to play. Winner of this game does clinch a playoff spot, and probably is going to clinch the division, unless something drastic happens the last week. But either which way, winner does clinch the playoff spot. So that's what makes this game so huge for both sides. Alright guys, that's all the games. That's the breakdown for Sunday preview. Good luck to all this week. Make sure you get your lineups in. Again, if you don't get them in by 12:50, Commissioner's Office will be putting in the worst possible replacement in your lineup for you. So good luck to all. Thanks guys.